The U.S. men's national team snapped away a 4-game losing streak by defeating Trinidad and Tobago 5-0 in the Gold Cup. And the opponent did suck. It's true. Actually, saying they sucked might be underselling it. This team was terrible. It looked like Trinidad and Tobago just walked around the stadium 30 minutes before kickoff and just tried to find anyone with a Trinidad and Tobago passport to go on the field and play. But anyhow, it was a terrible team. It's true, but a win is a win. With that said, what did we learn? Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And welcome to the 7 Things We Learned series, where every single day following a U.S. men's national team game, we tell you 7 things that we learned. Now, you can let me know in the comment section down below, what did you learn from United States 5, Trinidad and Tobago 0? And in the process, make sure to drop a like in this video if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you want to. If you don't want to, it's okay. Now, this video is brought to you by NordVPN, but more on that later. Let's play the intro and go to lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 is a positive one. We snapped away a 4-game losing streak. Listen, if you take away the January Camp Cupcake, the U.S. men's national team had 0 wins in 2025. And I know winning against this Trinidad and Tobago side that's terrible is an obligation. But based on our team's current form, a win was never guaranteed coming into this game. But hey, we won. We won big, 5-0 with comfort. And you can only beat the opponent that is in front of you. And beat this opponent, they did. Lesson number 2 is Malik Tillman. And I know he played very well against this Trinidad and Tobago side that is ass, but that's beyond the point. I'm not talking specifically about this performance. We need a few players that are in this roster to get it going for the U.S. men's national team this summer. Build some momentum, gain some confidence with the national team because the club form has not translated well for the national team, Malik Tillman being one of them. So him playing well throughout the entire summer will be very important. And he played well against Trinidad and Tobago. Hopefully he continues to do so. Because understand that we don't know what's going on with Gio Reyna. And we don't know if we can rely on Gio Reyna. The other option at the 10 would be maybe Diego Luna, a very good player. But I don't know if I'm comfortable with Luna being the starter for the U.S. men's national team in the World Cup. Now, Tillman has been incredible in the Champions League for PSV, in the Eredivisie. If he can bring that form to the national team, it'll be crucial for us. And he could even be a starter in the World Cup. So I can't overemphasize how important it is for Tillman to perform well the entire summer and then keep that momentum after when we play better opponents. Now, another player that also has to do that throughout the summer is Johnny Cardoso, that plays very well in La Liga and stinks it up for the national team. He wasn't available due to a flu, but those are 2 players that we really need to catch good form for the national team this summer. And Tillman is off to a good start. And even when you say, of course he played well against Trinidad and Tobago, keep in mind that Tillman has struggled against some very bad opponents for the national team in the past. So to see him play well, it was actually a breath of fresh air. Now, before we continue, a quick word from the sponsor of this video, NordVPN. We'll be back in 60 seconds. So if you have to go to the bathroom, you can go now. And don't forget to drop a like in this video. We'll be back with lesson number 3. You know, having a VPN is quite important these days because it'll protect your privacy, security by encrypting your data and your IP address. And you know what? It can also help prevent your Google search history from leaking. And that is why we are partnering up with NordVPN. Now listen, very often I travel to Brazil and the channel producer lives in Europe. We have to follow all these soccer games on different streaming services that don't really work outside of the United States. But with a VPN, you can set your location for the United States of America. And very often, it will work. At least it has for myself. And that allows me to watch the games we need and enjoy American content when located abroad. And today we have a special offer for you through NordVPN. Click the link in the description of this video and you will get 4 extra months on your 2-year plan, which technically means you get 4 free months in your 2-year plan. But they're not actually free, they're extra. Does that make any sense? It's also risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So click the link in the description of this video to get your special offer, and in the process, you'll be helping yourself and the channel. And thank you very much, NordVPN. Lesson number 3, and welcome back, by the way. And this lesson is about Matt Freese. And what I want to say is this. We already know that Matt Turner is in terrible form. He hasn't been a good goalkeeper for quite some time. I would honestly give Matt Freese the entire Gold Cup. He started this one against Trinidad and Tobago. He wasn't heavily tested, but when he was, he looked competent. He's been quite good in MLS for New York City FC. I would give him the entire Gold Cup and see how he does, because eventually he will get tested. When we get to the knockout rounds, probably, maybe Saudi Arabia during the midweek, even though they didn't bring their best players. But when we play Canada, Mexico, Panama, he will be tested, and we want to see how he does. Because right now, we don't have a clear number 1. So you might as well test the second option, which honestly, right now, Matt Turner should be the second option and Freese be number 1. You get the point. Just give Matt Freese the entire Gold Cup, regardless of how he does, and then reevaluate after it's over. So in yesterday's game against Trinidad and Tobago, every single player was good at worst, and at best, they were outstanding, except for 2 guys that, in my opinion, were mediocre to bad. One of them is lesson number 4, and his name is Aiman, that plays for Charlotte FC in MLS. Aiman, the first touch, the runs in behind, the combination play, everything was non-existent, including the finishing. I'm sorry, I tried to like him, and people were telling me he was a great forward. I don't see it. Honestly, he is worse than Zardes was for the U.S. national team. He is a worse player than Zardes was. I don't think he should continue to get minutes. I mean, he's in the roster, so he will get minutes. But Aiman ain't it. We've seen enough with Charlotte and with the national team. That's not the level of player you want for the U.S. men's national team. Now, if Pochettino continues to start him, it'll be a bit weird, but my point has been made. Aiman ain't it. So Aiman was lesson number 4. Lesson number 5 is Arfsten. That was the other player that I thought was mediocre throughout this game. I thought Aiman was actually bad and Arfsten was mediocre. Just stop playing him. Give John Token more minutes. Arfsten is very poor on defense, and on offense, there's some quickness and some ability on the ball. At times when he's not under pressure, he can hit a cross here and there, but I don't see him as a good player. I don't think he's going to be a reliable backup to Anthony Robinson, while John Token could possibly be a backup option. I don't know if he is, time will tell, but he could be. He seems like a much more well-rounded player than Arfsten. And also, Arfsten is not really a left back, right? He's almost more of like a winger. So stop playing Arfsten and maybe give John Token more minutes. But for some reason, Pochettino seems to love Arfsten. I don't know why. Lesson number 6 is Diego Luna. He continues to be outstanding for the U.S. men's national team. A joy to watch. A very entertaining player. Creative, great footwork, good on 1v1s. Just a fantastic player to watch and effective on the field. Now, as I said before, I don't see him as a starter for the U.S. men's national team with the A squad, but I do see Diego Luna playing an important role in the World Cup off the bench. He gives you something different that the other American players don't have. So once again, I just want to applaud Diego Luna. He was fantastic, showed his grit, his fight, and ability on the ball. Fantastic player. I very much like Diego Luna. I would almost consider him. I think actually I will consider him. Even with the A squad, Diego Luna right now is, in fact, a roster lock. Last but not least, we have lesson number 7, which means you should have already smashed the like button by now and commented what did you learn from United States 5, Trinidad and Tobago 0. So lesson number 7 is, of course, a win is a win. But take this 5-0 victory with a grain of salt. We've been here before. Let's not hype up mid players. Let's see how the Gold Cup plays out. We will play tougher opponents probably this week already against Saudi Arabia, even though it's more or less their B team. And then eventually, hopefully, we play Mexico or Canada, Panama. But don't fall in delusion, right? It's important to beat Trinidad and Tobago 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, but we've been there before. We've done that, and most of the players turned out to be absolutely nothing for the national team. I think we beat them 7-0 a few years ago during Camp Cupcake with a team that was more or less this bad for the U.S. and for Trinidad and Tobago. So don't fall into delusion. Celebrate the win. Enjoy the win. We've snapped a 4-game losing streak, but don't hype up mediocre players. Let's see how they do throughout the tournament when they play tougher opponents. And I know some of you are going to say you're just being too negative. And this is not being negative. This is called being rational. I'm trying my best to be rational here. And I'm trying my best to start enjoying the team once again. And honestly, I enjoyed the fact that we won. And I'm praying that we win the Gold Cup. I really want to win the Gold Cup, but I want to remain rational about how things are going. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. And I hope that Diego Luna and Malik Tillman continue to put on a show throughout the summer. And to you, I want to thank you all very much for watching and have a great day.